What's up, my Deliverance fans? It is Andrew Lowen here. I'm actually in San Diego right now for a brief weekend to attend a friend's wedding. And well, one of my employees at Next Level Web, he's getting married, longtime employee. And so I just felt like it was really important to jump on and record a video to discuss tariffs in particular and to give you guys some of what's going on in my head, as well as the kind of main things that I'm thinking. I will have posted this video, or maybe shortly after, a poll attached to it that asks you guys for feedback. Now, I want to give some information that is really essential. The first thing is some background. So Donald Trump's tariffs they look like they could approach 25% for products made in China importing to the U.S. Now, this could go higher. It could get worked out before we have to print. And so my immediate, the thing that we're immediately doing, rather than any other choices, we're going to wait and see, because we don't have any option to print right now or anything. So we're currently in the middle of game development. So regardless of what happens with tariffs, we're moving forward. We are going to deliver this product 100%. Honestly, regardless of what the tariff is. So I wanted to make a few things clear right up front. So if you are not in the US, so if you're a backer that's in the EU or Asia or whatever, tariffs aren't going to affect you, because we do have to make the product in China, and as long as your country isn't adding an extra tariff on China, then on Chinese goods, then it's not going to be a problem. We do have the big box inserts being made in Bulgaria, so those of you in the EU, there won't be any extra fees on that, but maybe, who knows, maybe there will be fees from Bulgaria for foam inserts coming to the US. I don't know. So this particularly concerns my North American, my United States backers, which are the majority of backers. So I wanted to go over a little bit of my thoughts and what we could do and solutions moving forward. So the first thing is the tariff that you should all understand. The tariff, I don't know, I've got a lot of first things in this video, just kind of going off the cuff here. You need to know that, let's say if it is a 25% tariff, let's, make it nice and even. Let's say Deliverance costs $16 to make per game, which is not actually far from what I am being charged to actually manufacture each Deliverance game box. But let's just say it costs $16 to manufacture per game, and we sell it for $100. Then the actual manufacturing cost will have to include the tariff, which is, if it's 25%, that's $4 extra per game going to the United States. And that means that, each American game is going to increase cost-wise by $4. The landed cost is going to end up being somewhere around, in that case, we add probably about an extra $3 per unit per game, just in general for shipping. So in the case that the game costs $16 and the tariff was 25%, that is a $20 game with a $3 shipping cost. It's $23 to actually get the game per, I'm making 5,000 or 6,000 of these. So it's very expensive, but maybe 7,500. So it costs that much per game to get those from the docks, or from the manufacturer in China to the warehouse in the United States. So this is actually a very large cost increase, but it doesn't break our company, because the tariffs are on the manufactured price. They're not on the MSRP. So it's not a 25% of $99. It's 25% of $16. So it's still very, very gnarly. And some of you may not understand kind of how the pricing system works. So if I make a game, let's just say it costs $20 for me to bring a product from China to the US. The way that it works in board games, you generally have to multiply that number by 5 in order to be able to survive as a board game business, because you're going to sell to retailers for 50%, you're going to sell to distributors for 60% off, and then that's kind of how the chain works. I do a lot of direct sales, and so I make in theory 100% of that from customers, but there are significant marketing fees, per game associated with selling stuff. So every, $4 that we can save is, every dollar that we can save is really money that goes to my staff, and that allows me to stay in business longer and that kind of thing. So it is a big deal, and I am thinking a lot about how to move forward. A couple of the options that I have, in front of me. One, I can obviously eat all of the cost. What that would involve is I would have to make a lesser print run. So I wouldn't get to benefit from the economies of scale of larger print runs. I would have to kind of work on saving money, even though, instead of paying, let's say, $16 a unit, maybe I'm paying $18 a unit, but I'm making half the number of units. So I would, have cost savings in the overall quantity of units being less, even though it's going to be, now it's 25% of $18, which is a little bit worse. So that, I think, is a really terrible option for the long-term health of our company. I think it's pretty important that we make a lot of units and that we bring them in, and that, if, we will not be able to manufacture this before June or July. We can even wait until August and be fine as far as our timeline goes. It takes about, maybe 3 months to manufacture this, 6 weeks to ship. I would say like between 2 and 3 months to manufacture, around 6 weeks to ship, to freight, and then maybe another month to deliver in the various regions. The US might potentially take longer, but last time we got it done in like 3 weeks. For manufacturing, or from shipping to customers across the U.S. So we can finish before our promised delivery date of December if we print by August, if we start printing by August. Now, we are going to, like I said, we are going to have to wait and we'll have the benefit of seeing what happens. I hope that they don't fight and it just doesn't make sense that there would be ridiculously high tariffs. Both countries need the revenue from one another in order to continue operating. And just like last time, when Donald Trump was in office for the first time, there was a little bit of a trade war with China. It took maybe 3 to 4 months to resolve, and the and there were no, the trade war ceased, and we got some concessions from China, and we made some concessions to China. And I think that I would imagine at least something similar is going to happen, where we'll make concessions, we may have tariffs, we may have exemptions. I hope that toys and games are among the things exempt, but like I said, time will tell. The one thing that I can say is that generally plastics that are made, toys that are made from plastic are generally always made in China because of the higher quality processes, more sophisticated manufacturing abilities. Like, you can't make plastic miniatures anywhere else. You can print cards other places, but even like card stock, you're not going to have as high quality card stock as Chinese black core cards, and so on. There are other things too, like printing a very large box like our box is. It's hard to get something like that done outside of China. So and especially for the prices and everything like that, it's probably still the best option, even at a 25% increase, which is crazy. I remember I got a quote a long time ago at this point, but for the first Deliverance game, we got a quote from a German company, and they were like, we don't want to make plastic. Can you use wooden dice? I'm like, man, you can't make plastic dice. How are you going to make miniatures? So anyway, it's going to be, it was called Ludofact, was that company. Um, but anyway, so other options, we can maybe split the cost. I can absorb some of the burden. When the 10% tariff was there last month, I talked about how we would shoulder the entire 10% burden. But if it goes to 25, that's going to be really painful. What that basically means, if we were to shoulder that entire burden, is that the money comes out of what I can pay my staff. So that's going to be a really tough one. Hey. So I just wouldn't be able to employ them for as long, which would be really damaging to the long-term health of our company again. So I need to make sure that, I take some precautions. And, if that were to be the case, if I had to absorb all 25%, the most common solution to this is invest more money of mine, or maybe ask you guys for investments, or friends and family for investments, or other things like that. Most of that I don't like. I would rather invest my own money in to make sure that my staff can continue working. We have big plans and all that. So let's see. I think a more reasonable option is to ask my American backers to help me shoulder part of the burden. To that end, I've created a form that I will ask, and I believe I referenced at the beginning of this video, that will ask you guys how you feel about that. And again, if you're not in the U.S., you guys don't have to worry about it. You guys aren't going to experience any tariffs, and you're going to get your games just the same. So there are other options that just, kind of are, I don't like to say on the table, but that we could consider. One of them is just to wait longer than our promised delivery date and hopefully wait out tariffs and stuff. I don't like that option because there's no guarantee, there's no guarantee that there's not going to be the tariff in existence then. I guess the fringe benefit of that is we would have more time to mess around with the campaign and the scenario missions and that kind of thing. But we think we can get all of that done, in the timeline that we've estimated. And like I said, we do still have several additional months of flexibility. If it looks like, let's say we get to June and I'm like, oh, we could begin manufacturing, but let's wait till July and see. We're still not going to have to worry about paying tariffs until we import the product into the U.S., which won't be until like September or October at the earliest, I would say. And that's going to be something that we can kind of cross that bridge when we come to it. Sorry, I have a little bit of a lingering cough from like a bronchitis attack that hit me like 3.5 weeks ago. Bronchitis sometimes give you a long cough or a long-term cough. So anyway, I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts and just to, if you guys have any ideas. I've also, kind of thought about, there are a lot of people that believe in deliverance as a product for what it can do, for how it encourages people to pray more, and like in real life, you have to pray a lot in the game. It helps you, makes you want to pray more in real life. I've considered asking for, those willing to maybe give donations or whatever to help others that can't pay for the increased prices, or that it would be like financially taxing on them. So one other option would be to ask for totally voluntary donations for those to cover their, the additional kind of tariff burden, and also help others shoulder their burden. So if you can, maybe, pay $20, you're covering 5 games worth of burden for, in regard to tariffs. That could be a huge thing for our company to kind of help get us through the crazy tariff time. And so just a few ideas, but I wanted to get on and primarily I felt like I needed to get I needed to record a video just to tell you guys that we're going to deliver this no matter what. Like, this product is getting delivered. You do not, I know that we may get some refund requests because of uncertainty. I know sometimes backers can get scared, which really kind of sucks because we have to take a percentage of that because, we've already paid our fees to Kickstarter and Stripe, which is the credit card processor, and they don't give those fees back. So we can only refund 90%. And so either way, at this point, you're committed at least 10%. I've been thinking as well, because of these tariffs and whatnot, we may end up reducing our refund that we give to 80% instead of 90, for like full refunds. But I haven't pulled the trigger on that one. Just kind of being open with you guys. Just more talking and expressing options and kind of the things I'm thinking rather than tell you guys exactly how it's going to be. This update is it's February 28th, and I am exploring options, seeking solutions. I want you guys to know that you can trust me as far as being your captain, the captain of your ship. I will, make sure that this thing is steered to its final destination, that we don't run out of gas along the way. We did make some moves early that were really positive. One of the things that we did was a $15,000 positive thing that happened. We were given the opportunity to prepay for some of so we have very established shipping partners that are, that are awesome, that, and we know generally how much it's going to cost in order to fulfill deliverance. And so one of them offered if we would, give them, basically prepay, that we could get a 15% bump in the services that they would provide to us. So we prepaid $100,000 and got a $15,000 credit that, which should kind of cover all of our shipping. And so that definitely helps. We're looking for other ways to, to generate a little here and there, like we'll put the money into a money market account that generates 4% interest. So that helps just a little bit. In addition to that, we are selling, we're marketing online. So we've raised, more money on our pledge manager, and which I expect will increase. Now, some things that you can do, by the way, to help, I would just suggest, if you haven't yet filled your pledge, consider adding a t-shirt or maybe an extra add-on that you didn't have before. That type of stuff will really, really help. You can even unlock your pledge if you have completed the pledge, and you can add stuff to your cart, and then you can, get charged for the difference. Something like that would be really great. T-shirts are going to be manufactured in the United States, so there's no tariff on that. So that's actually one of the best ways that you guys can support us, is by buying one t-shirt or even a bundle of 3. That would be fantastic. Or, like I said, upgrading add-ons and whatnot. Those things are always very helpful and very, very great. We're going to make the best version of Deliverance that there ever was. This expansion is shaping up to be really, really cool. We have a lot of great minds working on it full-time, a lot of people who are really experienced with Deliverance, and I look forward to sharing it with you. I hope you guys don't mind the length of this video. I know it's almost 19 minutes. Holy cow. Andrew Lowen with Deliverance, over and out.